Today, we'll be going over a really interesting topic. Who is the greatest rapper for every musical skill? Is it flows, lyrical ability, storytelling? We'll be going through all of them in this video. But before we get into it, let me set 3 quick ground rules for this video, because I already know this video is going to have the comment section on fire. 1, I split every skill into 2 categories, old school and modern. So don't be surprised when you don't see new rappers going up against the legends. They each get their own lane. 2, this is strictly my opinion. You don't have to agree, but that's why we have a comment section. So feel free to express your opinion. And 3, feel free to debate it respectfully. I'm always down to chop it up with y'all. All right, let's get into it. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here because it helps a ton. Starting off with one of the most important parts of rapping, flow. When you talk about flow, it isn't just your ability to rhyme, but also the way a rapper just effortlessly rides off the rhythm of a beat. Doesn't have to be forced, you just gotta let it flow. For the old school pick, we're going with Biggie Smalls. His flow was so smooth, it felt like he was skating on the beat. He made it sound effortless, no matter the tempo or a topic. Whether he was telling a story or flexing, Biggie made the beat his playground. For the modern era, that goes to Jid. His flow is unpredictable and clean. He switches pockets mid-bar and still keeps everything tight. Honorable mentions for flow go to rappers like J. Cole, Rakim, Eminem, and more. Now, let's talk delivery. It's not always about the lyrics or what you say. It's about how you say it. Delivery matters a lot because you can have the best lyrics, but when not delivered well, the song just feels like it's missing something. The rapper that I feel stands out in this for the old school is DMX. When DMX rapped, you felt it in your chest. His voice was pure energy. He barked, growled, whispered, screamed, and somehow it all worked. Every line felt urgent, like it had to be said right then and there. For modern, I'm giving it to Pusha T. The calm menace in his delivery is something else. He never raises his voice, but every line cuts deep. No mumbles or splutters. He raps like his bars could pierce through concrete. And for that, he stands out especially in an era where all deliveries sound almost the same. Some other MCs whose deliveries stand out include Ice Cube, Westside Gunn, Rick Ross, and more. Moving on to lyricism. It was really hard to pick out my winners for this category, especially in a genre like hip-hop where lyricism is very important if you want to stand out. So I decided my old school pick to be MF Doom, because of just how top tier his pen game is. His lyrics were filled with metaphors, double entendres, obscure references, and bizarre wordplay. You had to run his verses back 3 times just to catch half of it. For the modern era, I'll go with Lupe Fiasco. Yes, he's underrated, but I feel like his pen game deserves more attention. Bro raps like a college professor with bars. He dives into politics, philosophy, culture, and still manages to keep it fly. Some of his tracks are so layered they could be studied like poetry. He may not be one of the biggest when it came to streams, but his lyricism stands out to me. Honorable mentions for lyricism go to Nas, Black Thought, Kendrick Lamar, and more. Alright, now let's get into versatility. This is an artist's ability to thrive in multiple styles and genres, and their ability to put out tracks that appeal to different audiences. Lil Wayne is the old school pick here. In his prime, Wayne could go pop, reggae, rock, and still out-rap anyone. I've always admired his ability to work with different genres and collab with different generations of rappers and still murder the track. Modern pick? It's gotta be Drake. Not just because he comes from Lil Wayne's camp, but come on, his versatility is undeniable. Love him or hate him, the man's a musical chameleon. He's done boom bap, R&B, drill, Afrobeat, trap, pop, and always nails it. The craziest part is that he usually does this in multiple languages. He knows how to adapt and still sound like himself. Some other rappers who I admire their versatility include Kanye West, Lil Yachty, and Tyler the Creator. Now let's talk influence. Hip-hop is not always about how many records you sell, the number of streams you get, and all that. Sometimes it's about the legacy you leave behind and how you impact the younger generation of MCs. For old school, it's Tupac, easily. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a movement.
From the late 2000s to even this present day, everyone tried to imitate the thug poet persona Tupac represented. His music reached people on a spiritual and emotional level. His influence goes way beyond rap, into activism, film, and even fashion. For the modern era, Kanye West is clear. Kanye reshaped how rap sounds multiple times. From soul samples to 808s to experimental pop fusion, he changed the sonic landscape again and again. And a close second has to be Future, whose sound basically raised a generation of trap artists. But as for Kanye, he boasts of being the influence behind many of the biggest names in the game today. He claims he inspired many big names like Travis Scott, Drake, Kid Cudi, and I feel like he was right, because his influence is just unmatched. Honorable mentions for influence include Future, Lil Wayne, Keith Chafe, and Nas. These rappers helped shape the sound and style of the new generation of rappers.
Moving down to storytelling. This is the ability of a rapper to paint a picture with his rhymes, making you feel like you were actually there, while making you vibe to it at the same time. Many old school rappers stand out in this category. The likes of Eminem, Biggie Smalls, Nas, and so much more. But there's one rapper who has mastered the art of storytelling, and that is none other than Slick Rick. The art of storytelling wasn't just an album. It was his whole identity, what he represented as an artist. He had vivid characters, wild plots, humor, and heart. He told stories like some kind of hip-hop Shakespeare. For the modern era, you gotta give it to Kendrick Lamar. No question. Kendrick weaves stories into his songs with such detail and emotion, it feels like you're watching a movie. Whether it's about his upbringing, society, or someone else's life, he pulls you in every time. He's done this on several tracks such as Duckworth, Sing About Me, and many more. Some other MCs that stand out in this category include Nas, Eminem, Biggie, J. Cole, and Immortal Technique. Up next, album sales and streams. This category is kind of complicated because before streaming was invented, rappers relied solely on album sales for mainstream success. While in this modern era, I'll be using the streaming numbers and monthly listeners to decide. The old school pick for me is Tupac. He went diamond with All Eyes on Me and sold crazy numbers even while dealing with legal drama and social controversy. His music moved serious units and still does. For the modern era, you gotta give it to Drake. The man breaks his own streaming records on a yearly basis. First week sales, chart placements, digital numbers. It's not even close right now. Love him or hate him, his numbers just don't lie. Other rappers that have had their own shares of mainstream success are Eminem, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Travis Scott. Let's move down to discography. This was hands down the most difficult category for me to exactly decide, because a lot of rappers have put out some great projects out there with great and flawless album runs, while some haven't been able to keep up with their standards in recent times. Take Kanye, for example. He has one of the most reputable discographies out there, but his recent projects fall short of his usual standards. His recent albums were so bad that fans started to question if it was the same Kanye that put out Graduation and The College Dropout. So in this category, I'll not only be taking into consideration the quality of the album runs, but also how long the rapper could retain that quality. And I know the comments are going to be heated by this category, so feel free to voice your opinions. Old school winner for me is Jay-Z. From Reasonable Doubt to The Blueprint to 444, he's given us classic after classic while evolving and aging gracefully in rap. There's variety, depth, and consistent quality. He's been able to keep up to his standards from the 90s down to this modern era. For that, I gotta give it to Hov. For my modern pick, I would like to shout out names like Pusha T with his flawless discography, Kendrick for giving us classic after classic while shifting his sound. But for this one, I gotta go with Freddie Gibbs. Gibbs has dropped nothing but heat for over a decade. Pinata, Bandana, Alfredo. This guy simply doesn't miss. His catalog is criminally underrated. It's understandable to put names like Outkast, Nas, Kanye, Kendrick, and Tyler in this category, but I'm gonna go with those two.
Now to freestyles. Some rappers are so good that they just hear a beat and they just start spitting from the top of their heads, giving you bars that some other rappers can't even pen down even when given time to come up with something better. Take Lil Wayne, for example. He has claimed on several occasions that he doesn't even need to write. He just enters the booth and boom, the magic happens. But he's not even the one I'm picking. Old school, we gotta go with Big L. He was the blueprint for raw, witty freestyle energy. My modern pick might sound crazy, but I'm gonna go with Juice WRLD. Fans claim that about 70% of his insane catalog wasn't written, that he just steps into the booth and lets the magic happen. If this is true, then I guess it justifies why I chose him. Honorable mentions go to Eminem, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, and more. Let's talk longevity. Many rappers do a lot of great things, but some just can't do it for a long time. But the others can keep up with that quality for decades. Falling off doesn't seem to exist for these guys.
The old school pick is Nas.
No one has stayed as relevant, respected, and sharp for as long. He dropped hits in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and even in the 2020s, he's still out-rapping people. For the modern era, Lil Wayne. Wayne's been acting since he was a kid and still finds ways to reinvent himself. From his early mixtapes to Carter albums to recent features, he's still going strong. And yes, I know that his latest project fell short of his standards, but come on, just appreciate his longevity for crying out loud. Honorable mentions go to Snoop Dogg, Nas, Rick Ross, and more, who seem to still pop out despite doing it for years, even if you don't notice it. Next skill is voice. While some rappers can sing their hearts out, the others, well, can't do just that. One of my best voices from the old school era is Snoop Dogg. As soon as you hear that laid-back drawl, you know it's Snoop. His voice is smooth, iconic, and instantly recognizable. You can put him on any beat and it still sounds like a Snoop record. For the modern era, I'm gonna go with J.I.D. His voice has character. It cuts through the mix and adds personality to every verse. He can go high-pitched, animated, calm, and it all sounds natural. Honorable mentions Lauryn Hill, who's literally also into R&B, so her voice has to be good. Pop Smoke for that iconic low-pitched voice, Young Thug, Tyler the Creator, and Drake. Now to features. Never let these rappers anywhere near your track because they're going to steal the show and turn you into the feature. For old school, I'm giving it to Busta Rhymes. He never mailed in the verse. When Busta hopped on your song, it became his song. Energy, flow, charisma, he brought the whole package. Modern pick and more of a no-brainer, and it's none other than J. Cole. His feature run over the last few years has been ridiculous. Every guest verse sounds like he's trying to prove something. He shows up, shows out, and usually out-raps everybody. He doesn't just steal your track, he murders you on it. He has a lot of perfect features on his belt. And for that, I really respect him, despite all the recent hate he's been getting. Honorable mentions go to Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, André 3000, Ty Dolla $ign, and Kendrick Lamar. Last up is beat selection. My old school pick is MF Doom. His beats were unorthodox, lo-fi, jazzy, dusty, and perfect for his style. I don't think there'll ever be a rapper-producer duo like MF Doom and Madlib. Nobody else could make those beats work like he did. For the modern era, Kanye is clear. Nobody touches Ye when it comes to production. He knows how to pick the perfect instrumental, whether it's soulful, dark, electronic, or orchestral. His beat selection is just legendary. Names like J. Cole, Tyler the Creator, Alchemist, and Metro Boomin also have great taste when it comes to picking beats. Now, before we wrap up, I'd like to do a quick shout out to two really iconic MCs. And I didn't include these two in just one category because they basically belong in all of them. That's Eminem and André 3000. Flow, lyrics, delivery, storytelling, creativity, they've got it all. You could argue either of them for almost every skill we just covered. So yeah, that's my list. If you're still here, I appreciate you heavy. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know who I missed or who I rated too high or too low. And if you're feeling the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more rap debates, lists, and deep dives coming soon. I'll catch you in the next one.